illegal. Well, anyway, that's my opinion, and I thank you for the time that you've given me.
Well, Peter, stay there because you're very well spoken and your information is crystal clear, and I agree with you. When I use terms like fascism or socialism, those are derivative terms that the general public in their semantical lexicon can understand. And if you look at this system, the closest term to describe it that's in popular use would be fascism, because the public sold that this is socialism. Well, they socialize our wealth for social engineering to control us, but it is a process of consolidation of power in the hands of the mega rich, the ultra elite, who are predatory against everyone else. It is a clique. It is a mafia, a corporate mafia that's taken control of every major nation on earth, but a handful, those nations that aren't under their control, and because governments are generally corrupt, those rogue nations are generally bad as well and have their own problems. They're just not as sophisticated and imperial, so they're not the threat. Libya, Iran, you can list a few others there, North Korea. But I do agree, homicidal plutocracy is a good term. But I would call it a scientific dictatorship, because that's how the controllers describe themselves. So it is a mafia of royalty, of robber barons, who in the last 150 years said, we want to understand controlling the individual, not just nations, and how to dumb people down. And the Germans also were competing with their systems of social control. So it is 20th and 21st century social control. And the elites in all their major publications have openly decided to create the final revolution against humanity, a scientific dictatorship that seeks to take control of all industry, all production, all farming, language, its full spectrum dominance, to then dumb the population down where they are incapable of revolting because they have been turned into mindless sheep. As Bertrand Russell said, in the near future, under the scientific dictatorship engineered by us, in his words, he said us, a revolt by the proletariat or the general population, the unwashed masses, will be as unthinkable as a revolt of sheep against the practice of eating mutton or sheep, for those that don't know what mutton is. And so it's like saying, you know, looking out your front window, if you raise sheep and you shear them every year, but you also sell some for meat, and saying, yeah, the sheep aren't going to come in our house with clubs and beat us over the head and have a revolt. And so for the globalist, world government is only the beginning. Once it's in place, once you're purely bankrupted and controlled by the nanny state, the health department established in the U.S. around about 95 years ago or so, in England about 130 years ago, it was founded for social hygiene, racial hygiene, for infanticide, sterilization, drugging of the water, and it's all publicly stated, and that's the plan. And it's all being carried out. The food's poison, the water, the drugs, the vaccines, and it's meant to block the increase in life expectancy that industrialization brings. Then the homicidal plutocracy, as you amply describe it, and good term you've coined there, Peter, they then profit on extending life when you would be dying at about 65 because of the poisons and things they've introduced. They can now extend that a decade or so, but they ensure that all of your wealth is then extracted. And the average doctor is compartmentalized and isn't aware of this. So use what term you want: scientific dictatorship, monopoly eugenics, end game dictatorship, homicidal end game plutocracy. You can use whatever term you want, but this is full spectrum dominance. How do you, if a population, if a tribe really fought the Romans, if a German tribe or a Austrian tribe or a British tribe would submit and become part of the auxiliaries, you'd have the main legions with the auxiliary foreign armies behind them. If they submitted, they would be brought into the auxiliaries. And normally they'd have to submit and let some of their women be shipped off to slavery and their children be shipped off to be gladiators or to be house servants. You know, submission was a pretty tough lot, but the warrior class would then be allowed to have some whores and have some booty, have some gold, have some goodies, about a third of what the Romans got. Well, many of the Roman troops weren't citizens yet. They had to serve 25 years and then become citizens. But if you resisted, they would kill everyone, every man, woman, and child. The Israelites did this as well. They exterminated those in that surrounding area when they took over what is Israel today, Jerusalem. And, of course, other countries, other tribes did that as well. They didn't invent that. And then they would also salt the earth so no plants could grow. In case anybody had run to the hills after the Romans pulled out, no one could resist them. So the scientific dictatorship said, look, there's billions of people. They're eating up all the resources. They're a bunch of dumbed-down masses. You know, I can go to the shopping mall or Schlitterbahn and look at the crowds, and they look like hell. They look dumbed down. I mean, maybe people looking at me, I look pretty bad. But the point is, I want to lift those people up, not kill them all. But the elites look at people and say, we want to get rid of these people right now. And the globalists say, look, the public's too dumb to even realize what patriots like myself and you were warning them about, Peter. So why should they even give the population a shot at living and being part of the future when the population doesn't want it? They want to die. That's the globalist view. But anything else, Peter?
No, that's fine. Thank you for giving me the time, and I have nothing more to say except I wish you well.
Well, I wish you well, sir, and God bless you. I mean, it is painful to sit in restaurants or on the street or swimming in a river and to hear adults speak. I mean, I remember 30 years ago, people could speak much better than they do now. I mean, they're like a bunch of animals. It's like they've been hit by mutation rays. And doesn't matter what color they are or what socioeconomic strata even. No one says you're welcome when you say thank you, or they say no problem. You know, that means like it's a problem that I'm bringing you a glass of beer at a restaurant. Adults can't talk. I have conversations with people with college degrees who make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and I'll be using words to describe things, and they say, what does that mean? Or they'll think I'm showing off. I have had many of my crew, when they talk about their rights to police say, you're reading too much. We've had TSA repeatedly, when people talk about their rights in TSA checkpoints, say, you're reading too much. Don't use those fancy words with me. If you see Mike Judge's excellent film, Idiocracy, when he's, 500 years in the future in a court hearing with a judge, the judge can hardly talk. And just because the guy has, he's kind of like a blue-collar dummy in the year 2010, but in the year 2300 or whatever it is, I forget the exact date, no one can even hardly talk. They can just make jokes and giggle and laugh, and people's easy chairs are toilets because all they do is watch television. Well, I got news for you. The globalists aren't going to let you get to that point. They're killing you. They're killing me deader than a hammer. They're killing I deader than a hammer. But here's the news flash. Many of us know what's going on, and we don't want to be killed. Okay?
We all know that the Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 4 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water systems. The revolutionary Berkey light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and re-cleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels, and removes harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 Sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 Sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping, an $87 value, yours free, but only for a limited time. Just call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653 now to order. That's 1-877-886-3653, or order online now at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on Earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the